All right, what's up, everyone? It's Aztec 101 in the ring, and I wanted to talk about the actual fight, the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Um, I mean, this is probably the only fight worth watching in the heavyweight division. It's starting to get to the point where I don't think anybody really cares for any other fight. This is this is a big event. Boxing fan, what's up, man? What's up? This is a big event right here between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Both are undefeated. High KO ratio. You got Anthony Joshua pretty much knocked out everyone he's fought. 20 fights, 20 KOs. And then you got Deontay Wilder. I mean, he's got 39 fights and 38 KOs. Boxing fan says Eddie Hearn doesn't want to take the risk with Wilder. Um, that's a really big risk because AJ is showing potential to be able to sell big in the UK. So right now Wilder, even though he's been a champion for longer and he has more fights under his belt, um, AJ right now has more to lose. So yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk, and I don't know if Eddie Hearn would want to, take that risk right now. He's going to milk AJ. That's right, boxing fan. He's going to milk the shit out of it. He's going to milk the shit out of it. Why not let AJ fight a few fights, you know, um get a couple million off his fights right there. I mean, I really don't think a loss to Wilder is going to hurt AJ to the point where he still can't be um a celebrity, you know, popular. I mean, I think not fighting Wilder will eventually hurt AJ in the long run. But things are a little bit weird when it comes down to boxing. You would think that the fighter that fights the most often and the most competitive fights is going to be the one that becomes the most popular, but it doesn't always turn out that way. Sometimes you have the most popular fighters that are actually picking and choosing who they want to fight, and they end up taking the easier route. So uh, you can't always predict who's going to be famous, but Wilder has pretty much all the traits that we would want in a heavyweight champion. He's a knockout artist. He's fun to watch. Out of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, I have more fun watching Deontay Wilder. I think he's a lot more exciting. I enjoy his fights. I'm not too fond of the competition that he's faced, but at the end of the day, I'm not really interested in him fighting um, anyone else. I don't care if he fights Tyson Fury or if he fights, Klitschko or anyone else. I really don't give a shit. I just want to see the Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight. I think a lot of people feel that way. Um, AJ AJ is the biggest draw since Prince Nassim in the UK. I think you're right, man. Yeah, I think you're right. It's been a long time. Um, I think. I mean, who else? Who else could? I mean, no one else. No one else really has gotten this kind of momentum. Zone six, what's up, bro? Wilder wins. I think Wilder can win. I got Wilder winning. I think. If I were to put money on it, I put money on Wilder. Well, I think Wilder wins. I would like Wilder to win. I think Wilder's. I have more fun watching Wilder. He's exciting, and the man's got power in both hands. He's got reach too, and he moves. He moves awkwardly. He's not as technical as AJ, but he's ruthless. I think he's got. I think Wilder is better at finishing. I like Wilder's tactics on not tactics, but I guess the instinct to smell blood and go for the kill. I think Wilder's better at that. I think AJ, he's the type where he if it happens, it happens. He's got the power to make it happen, but he doesn't have the aggression. I think he's a little bit more cautious when he fights, which makes him, obviously a little bit better at defense. Probably why he's so successful at middleweight. I mean at heavyweight. But Deontay Wilder just to me is offensively much more dangerous and more of an imposing figure than Anthony Joshua. Oh shit. You know. And me favoring Deontay Wilder, I don't think in my mind it doesn't. Damn, sorry guys. Just smoking a blunt and took in too much smoke. All right, so in my head, I'm thinking the reason why I favor Deontay Wilder is just based on what I see and what I like. I don't think it has anything to do with nationalism. Like, it has nothing to do with him being from the United States. But I am a little bit more exposed to Deontay Wilder. He's been fighting for a lot longer. Or, I mean, not much longer. There's, a 5-year difference. Wilder started in 2008, while you have Anthony Joshua, who's started his pro career in 2013. So I have been talking about Wilder. I've been more exposed to Wilder, so that's probably a factor. But at the end of the day, it's the heavyweight division. Both these guys pack power. Both these guys are knockout artists, and at the end of the day, they can knock each other out. It's not the type of fight where it's going to only be based on skill. Someone's going down in this fight. I don't think this fight will last past 6 rounds. There's a few different things I wanted to talk about, like leading up to this fight. One of them is Deontay Wilder's. I don't want to say lack of a fan base, because apparently his last fight did pretty well. What was it? 88,000 views, almost 100,000. Or buys. Or what? I don't know what the number was, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It's growing, but it's not where I would imagine Deontay Wilder to be. Honestly, the guy's got all he's got all the traits to be an easy superstar to promote in the United States. I mean, there should be honestly, there should be a lot more work put into pushing Deontay Wilder in other states. He needs to come to California. He needs to go to Texas. He should fight in, Detroit and Ohio. He should go fight in New York. They need to start moving him around, spreading him around a little bit more. Because at this point, boxing has already set its environment. And the environment has been like this for a long time. And it's, what do you bring to the table, right? Do you bring a belt? Do you bring views? Do you bring respect? Right? There's different reasons why fighters take fights. None of them usually have anything to do with who's on the ranking list. Right? The ranking list is for the fans, it's for the belt system. But each fighter is lacking something. Maybe they have all the money in the world, maybe they have all the belts, but they're lacking respect. So they're going to pick a fighter that probably doesn't bring much money, or maybe doesn't, and they'll look over other things because they want to get the respect. Some fighters, they got the respect. They got the respect, they got the money. It's not about the money, they want the belt. So they look for a route to the belt. Each fighter is in a different position. Someone like Adrian Broner, his last the last thing that he should be thinking about is money or a title. He should be thinking about earning respect, right? The same thing can go to Chavez Jr. if he was deciding to fight again. But it's kind of weird to see someone like Deontay Wilder, who has a respect of the few fans that watch him and seems to be making good money right now. But it's all limited. There's a glass ceiling because there's not enough exposure in between fights. One thing I noticed was that I also wanted to talk about Oscar De La Hoya saying that if he was with Golden Boy, he would be able to make him better, or I guess promote him better. And to a certain degree, I think that it doesn't matter what promoter it is. Deontay Wilder needs a full-time promoter, but Oscar De La Hoya needs. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where he needs to shut the fuck up and focus on the fighters he has right now. He's getting a little bit annoying, constantly chasing after these guys that are no longer with him. Keith Thurman, Deontay Wilder. These guys, they left. They're gone. Let it go. Give them a reason to come to you if you're really going to provide that kind of exposure. Do something with another fighter other than Canelo, right? I think it's a lot better to if you can give a fighter a reason to come to your stable, you don't have to talk about it on Twitter. You're going to start getting people coming in and trying to get on Golden Boy. But they need to see you set an example with other fighters. People know that you help promote Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather, he prospered because of the promotion. So Golden Boy Promotion is an experienced and well-known promotional company. It has helped build superstars, but at the end of the day, it's not doing anything right now. Oscar De La Hoya has shown that he could be incompetent. He keeps falling back into drugs. He gets starts drinking and gets caught with a DUI. These are all examples of things that you do while you're a fighter, and your promoter won't like. He'll have to end up spending more money on you if you do that as a fighter. If your promoter's doing that, if you're the one on the straight line, you go to the gym, you go to your fight, you work hard, but your promoter's out there fucking sniffing coke and getting DUIs, like, you're not gonna trust that environment. So Oscar De La Hoya he needs to just let it go. Let that shit go. and lead by example. Stop with that fucking with snorting cocaine and shit. Um, Getting caught with DUIs, drinking, and there has to be a point where hopefully Bernard Hopkins tells Oscar De La Hoya that he needs to shut the fuck up. You know, if Hopkins can be the voice of reason and tell Oscar De La Hoya, yo man, let it go. Stop fucking mentioning all the fighters that are on Heyman's stable and saying that you can make them better. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's pretty much all I gotta say about Oscar De La Hoya and that whole situation. But yeah, he needs to let it go. As far as Wilder though, and the fact that he does need a promoter, Wilder can really use someone putting him in positions to talk to the media. Like their entire job is to make sure that in between fights, people are talking about you, right? Whether you're out there and you're doing interviews or you're like for example the chip challenge, the hottest chip challenge. This is all good publicity for Wilder. This is great publicity for Wilder. I saw him on Fighter and the Kid and talking to Brendan Schaub and getting exposed to MMA fans. That's all good work. That's all good work. If they can keep that going without having a promoter, you don't need a promoter then, right? If you have a manager that's putting in the work to get you these opportunities to get out in front of people, then you don't need a promoter. But if you're not doing that often enough, then hiring a promoter isn't a bad idea. And it doesn't have to be it could be Floyd's promotional company. If Floyd puts in the money and he puts in the effort, he can do a lot of good for Deontay Wilder. But it's kind of sad to see that position that he's in. I wouldn't say sad, but it's unfortunate because honestly, I look at Deontay Wilder as today's Mike Tyson. And why would I say that? One of the biggest things with Tyson was he gave that aura that he's unbeatable, right? And it's not unbeatable because, just technique or anything like that. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying he is Mike Tyson or he's just like Mike Tyson. I'm not putting them on the same scale. The competition isn't the same. It's not the same division as it was back in the 90s, early 90s. So all I'm comparing it to is, what it is today. And, Wilder, he gives off that impression that if he touches you on the chin, he has the power to knock anyone out. Anyone. There's enough fights to prove it. And I think this last fight with Stiverne is a fucking testament to what he can do. Stiverne has shown that he's got a solid chin. He's the only guy on Wilder's resume that lasted 12 rounds. This shit wasn't going 12 in this fight, and Wilder stopped it. So, I mean, shit, Wilder's a scary dude right now. So, I mean, that's one reason why the fight hasn't been really announced. Let's be honest. Anthony Joshua, as good as he is, this is a risk. This is the riskiest fight he could ever get in. This is the fight of his life. This isn't Klitschko. This is the fight of his life. This is someone that Wilder doesn't hold. Wilder doesn't hold on to you. He doesn't think that way. Wilder goes to knock you out, right? One thing too is AJ, this whole phenomenon that happened just within the last 24 hours. AJ was AJ Wilder, the fans, and I don't think AJ and Wilder have anything to do with this, but the fans have made this very, very much about country, right? So Americans are supporting Deontay Wilder while you got the UK supporting Anthony Joshua. Now you got some people in between. Americans that like AJ, UK fans that like Wilder, right? But there's been a little feud between, you know, American fans and UK fans about this fight. But one thing I find interesting is after the whole situation with the Instagram comment from yesterday from AJ, there's a lot of American fans that are now they're starting to swing over and they're like, oh, you know what, AJ's I didn't know AJ had it in him, you know. He's probably not that bad of a guy. And it's interesting to watch because honestly, I thought, well, maybe this might have an effect on AJ's fan base, but it didn't. I wasn't thinking, well, what if it had a positive effect on his fan base? You know what I mean? Like this got him just a little bit more fans, because at the end of the day, people love racism. They like that shit. People love it. They eat it up. They honestly, if someone's too good, too quiet, doesn't talk about, doesn't give off not weaknesses, but just if someone plays the good guy and doesn't say things that are politically incorrect every now and then, for the most part, people don't trust that. I don't know why. I'm not a sociologist, psychologist. All I know is from experience, people don't like that. They think it's fake. They don't like it. And people like to hear a little bit of racism. I mean, fuck, that's how Trump. People loved it. People liked it. They even people that hate racism will come out and say like, oh, well, I think this is kind of refreshing, you know. People's mentalities are kind of weird. But it ended up kind of, I think this is good publicity for AJ, you know? For those people that thought that AJ was just a shy, a good guy, he showed another side to him. So I think some people are attracted to that. I don't think necessarily it has anything to do with what he said. I think people got attracted with the energy that he gave out in that comment thread, just coming out and saying, hey, you're a fucking bitch, XYZ, whatever shit he said after that, I don't think it really mattered. People are overlooking that. They're just a little bit excited that AJ showed another side to him. And it might play in favor of this fight where it'll help sell the fight. So it's kind of interesting. At this point, even if there was a hacker involved, which I don't think there was, but even if there is a hacker involved, I think it might be a better idea. AJ just says, yeah, it was me. Fuck you. That's how I think. What are you going to do about it? If he says that, shit, that solidifies that he's not a little bitch, that he's not a little yes man. He's got dog in him. He's got another side to him. He's a little bit crazy. People are going to like that. People are going to like that. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see here. Rascalot. When AJ KOs Wilder, the YTBC will never be the same. Man, if AJ ends up KOing Wilder, I think that this is going to be a very emotional fight. I think this is going to be a really emotional fight. because anyone can go down. It's the heavyweight division, and AJ's got power. You know, he's a little bit more technical. He has better defense than Wilder, but you know, I think Wilder has better stamina. But it's hard to tell, man. These guys don't go 12 rounds, so I don't know. But all I know is someone's getting knocked out. This fight isn't going all the way. Eventually, someone's getting knocked out. Someone's got to go down, and I think walking into this fight, that's what people want to see at the end of the day. I think that's why people are so attracted to this fight. Because it's not just about who's going to beat who. It's about who's going to put who to sleep. You know, it's going to be a very, very, very high-grossing fight. Like, the UK is going to watch this. Because they can't wait to have an undisputed heavyweight champ come out of the UK. I mean, why wouldn't they want this fight to happen? They want this fight to happen. I just think that they also want this to be a big event, like it should be. And you know, Wilder's got to pull his weight by. He's got to do something, and being online, doing videos, going to interviews. Nowadays, that's really good promotion. So as long as he keeps doing that all the way up until the end of the year, I think he might make a successful fight with AJ right off the bat, you know, in 2018, maybe February. Shit, man, if they could do this and have another Valentine's Day massacre, just put it on Valentine's Day or around that date, I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, they need to find the right date. Make this a historical fight. Let's see. Who do you guys got? Who do you have winning this fight? If you had to pick someone. Because I know Rasclot, he's got AJ winning. Zone 6 got Wilder winning. I mean, I think Wilder wins, but it's one of those fights I wouldn't put any money on it. They can come out. AJ can come out first round, boom, knock him out, put him to sleep. I think what Wilder needs to do is do enough promotion so that way it makes it attractive for AJ to come down to the United States rather than Wilder going to the UK. I think it'll be very important just as far as the chess match goes, behind the scenes. I think it would be very important if they can draw AJ over here to the United States. You know? Sell it to him. Make it seem like it's good for him. That hometown advantage will be this, because this fight can honestly launch Wilder's career. It could launch it to new levels. And it'll be huge if they can have that here in the United States. If it's in the UK, I mean, people from here will watch it, but to be able to have that fight at Madison Square Garden, you know, or Vegas, that'll be epic. You'll have people from California, from Texas, people flying from New York, Chicago. They'll come from all over the United States to go to Vegas and watch this fight live. And there'll be people coming over from the UK too. So I think, honestly, I think this fight would do a lot better if it was here. You mean LDBC? Oh. Well, anyways, this is a pretty big fight. We're already had Canelo versus Triple G. Seems like people they don't really give a fuck whether the fight happens again, whether there's a rematch or they decided to fight other people. I don't think people really give a shit. So the only fight where we already have Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko set in place. The only fight really out there that matters right now is Wilder and AJ. So this is probably safe to say at this point the most important fight in boxing today, just as of right now. Now, I wonder what Eddie Hearn's gonna do. I wonder how they're gonna approach this fight. Are they gonna leave Wilder hanging? Because I think Wilder will sign the contract. I don't think he's gonna duck or try to avoid this fight. He's been asking for it. So it's all on Eddie Hearn's hands right now. That's all it is. Wilder Joshua won't happen till 2019. Joshua knows what the fight's worth. And his contract with Hearn ends in December 2018. And he's leaving. That's why Hearn wants him out 3 times in 18. If Wilder and Joshua doesn't happen till 2019, that would be a big mistake. That's a mistake. How do I say this? The heavyweight division doesn't have the same effect as the welterweight division did, a few years ago with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather carried the entire division and the divisions around him. And that's why, with the help of him and Pacquiao and all that, but it was a steady transition from the generation before to Floyd's, where there's high level competition. People were interested. People were already following that division. Heavyweight has fallen off. Waiting till 2019. I mean, that's something that you could do a few years ago if you're Floyd Mayweather. That's fine. You can push that shit back. But if you're Anthony Joshua and you push it back to 2019, that's a whole year of people just going, well, it's not going to happen at all. They're going to forget. And guess what? There's plenty of other possible fights that could end up happening that might take over. People might end up becoming more interested in a Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. I mean, that could happen. That could always overshadow Anthony Joshua. Right now, there's a small window. There's nothing else going on. There's a window. That's why it's important to do it soon. There's a window to be able to make a lot of money, and that's right now. Nothing's going on. There's nothing really to look forward to right now. But all that could change in a few months. That's the vibe I'm getting from Joshua. When he goes solo, he will take Wilder fight in a heartbeat. Yeah, well, if he waits to go solo to get that fight, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. What is he going to do? His first fight, being a promoter, where he's got to work on the responsibilities of being the promoter for the very first time. I mean, he's going to get knocked the fuck out in front of by Wilder if he has to worry about that shit and train. Not a good idea. Do it now. Let your promoter handle all the other shit. You focus on training and you beat Deontay Wilder. After that, your stock is going to skyrocket anyways. So when you do go out on your own, you don't have the pressure of having to learn on the job and beat your most dangerous opponent you're ever going to face in that division. It doesn't make sense. Floyd did it with Oscar. No, Floyd didn't do it with Oscar. Mayweather Promotions didn't come out until years later. By then, Floyd Mayweather learned the ropes. He learned how to do things. You know, remember, Anthony Joshua just turned pro 2013. Nowhere near the type of backstage experience that on a high level that Floyd Mayweather had by the time he made Mayweather Promotions. You know, when he fought with Oscar De La Hoya, that was Golden Boy Promotions. When he left Top Rank, he went to Golden Boy Promotions. So even fighting Oscar De La Hoya, he did that under the banner of Golden Boy, which is smart, because if he ends up winning that fight with Oscar De La Hoya, which he did, his stock skyrockets, and in the future when it's financially makes sense, then you do it yourself. Let me see. Joshua already is managing Matchroom Fighters. AJ Management is his company. He is all right, Matchroom Fighters, but he not the level he's trying to get. You know, we're talking about organizing events with, you know, these large stadiums and making sure that they end up on, that he gets the best deal. Negotiating table tactics. He's going to need to hire people, the right people, to help run his company. He's going to need to do all this while he's working. And I'm not talking about matchroom boxing. Like, yeah, like any bum can go out there and manage fighters. You go out, you make phone calls, you get them fights, you get them paid. That's it. It's not that difficult. The hard part is making a successful, when he's doing this and his focus is his own career. That's the most important career on his stable. Trying to learn on the job, like I said, and then having to worry about Deontay Wilder is stupid to me. If that's his plan, if AJ's plan is to wait it out, wait until 2019, he promotes it, doesn't have to share any money with takes on all the responsibilities, right? But doesn't have to share money with Eddie Hearn. Okay. All right, you do that while you're training for Deontay Wilder, and watch how quickly you're going to get world star. He's going to be put to sleep. He's going to show up tired. He's going to get paid. But his expenses are going to be way more, because now he's taking on the full responsibility of putting this on air, promoting it, doing everything. True, I hope he relocates to your side of the pond and fucks Hearn off. USA is the mecca of boxing. Well, I mean, if he relocates over here, he can still have a couple fights in the UK now and then. But there is a big market over here that he can tap into. I think he already gained the trust of the UK, and he's already a celebrity over there. So might as well become a celebrity over here too, and move back and forth whenever you like. You know. But I don't know. Is the United States the mecca of boxing? As of right now, yeah, I think so. I mean, there's so many different fighters that come to the United States to fight here. They're fighting for championship titles here. You know, you'll see You'll see fighters all the time, championship fights. One guy's from the Philippines, the other guy's from Mexico, and they're fighting in Vegas. Why? Because this is where you want to make the money. This is where sports fans here, they really indulge themselves into the sport that they watch. So they'll spend money, happily spend money if they become fans. So if you can try to get that kind of attention, you would want to do it here. And there's a lot of places that accommodate to boxers. Known cities that have already a solid fan base where it's like, all right, if you put a certain boxer here that's entertaining and we can market, we can sell out, this arena, the Home Depot Center or whatever. They know what type of fights to put out there, and people are going to show up. I mean, Anthony Joshua, he can make a lot of money over here. All right, guys. This is Aztec 101. Kind of rambled on, but I'm going to head out. I'm going to try doing another upload either tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. But I want to talk about, definitely want to go over Guillermo Rigondeaux and Lomachenko. If there's anything you guys want to talk about on the next upload, let me know. Put it in the comment section. Other than that, have a good weekend. This is Aztec 101.